In today's video, boys, I'm going to show you the strategy I've been using for years to stay 10% body fat year round, add on muscle year on year, and also pull from the fat stores in my body to create new muscle mass rather than eating a massive surplus of calories. So let's get straight into the video and start. What is a recomp? It is the alternative to the cut and bulk, the common method of adding muscle in bodybuilding, where you bulk up, you add a lot of excess fat, but a lot of mass and strength at the same time, and then you cut. And you completely change your diet, like a full 180. You cut a lot of calories and you try and shed all of that fat whilst still retaining and holding onto your mass. The problem is a lot of bulks can be unnecessarily dirty, where you're adding on a lot of extra fat when you're actually not adding on that much muscle at the same time. So the recomp is where you're using the body's fat stores that it already has and you're pulling calories from the fat to create new muscle tissue rather than having to add on all this extra fat when you're doing a big bulk. It takes longer to do a recomp and it takes longer to gain the muscle, but you can stay incredibly lean at the same time. It's how I managed to stay between probably 10 and 12% body fat year round, but also add muscle year on year on year. The reason that I use a recomp is because I can't get my head around adding a load of fat when I'm on a bulk. I prefer the gradual increase in lean muscle over long periods of time. I have a few methods that I use to stay lean whilst adding on muscle, and I'm going to share them with you now. The first one is you absolutely need to become anabolic. There's a reason that guys on steroids can add huge amounts of mass even when their nutrition is not on point. The reason why is because when your body increases its testosterone, it becomes anabolic and it makes better use of the fat stores in your body. Now, you don't have to jump on gear or start taking and injecting testosterone to make this happen. You can increase your testosterone naturally. If you're interested, I triple my own testosterone using only natural methods. I give you my training programs, nutrition, the supplements I took, my supplement super stack, and you get added to our community. The link for that is in the comments below, so you can check that out if you want. But you can actually use these 3 tips that I'm going to give you for free to increase your testosterone right now so that you can start adding more muscle and pulling from the fat stores in your body. And these are the 3 tips I give you. So the first one you need to do is check your vitamin D levels. Vitamin D is crucial in creating testosterone in the body, and a lot of us are vitamin D deprived because of the 9-to-5 lifestyle, working indoors, slaving away behind a computer, not getting the sunlight that you need. So take a strong vitamin D supplement. Number 2, cholesterol is the precursor to making testosterone. So I would recommend that you eat 4 eggs before bed. It has a healthy amount of cholesterol in those eggs that is going to allow your body to produce more testosterone in the night when testosterone is actually made in the testicles. And the other one is sleep. Sleep is like the magic potion. It is literally like jumping on gear. If you take yourself from getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night up to 8 or 9 hours of sleep a night, you would get the same benefits as if you had started taking anabolic steroids. That's how powerful sleep is for your general health and your muscle building. So boys, use those 3 tips and you can get anabolic straight away, and you'll find it a lot easier to recomp and add that muscle mass whilst losing fat. Number 2, how do you structure your recomp? Now, you need to ask yourself a couple of questions. What is your actual primary goal? Is your primary goal of the recomp to gain muscle and you're quite a slim or lean guy? Or are you holding some excess fat and the goal of the recomp is to actually lose fat whilst gaining muscle? If you're leaner, if you're one of the leaner guys and you want to gain muscle, then you want to figure out your maintenance calories, and then you want to add between 5 and 25% depending on whereabouts you are. If you're super skinny guy, then I'd recommend you do a 25% calorie surplus. If you're kind of lean, maybe a bit skinny fat, you might want to do a 5% calorie surplus. The reason why is because the body is going to be drawing those extra calories from your fat. So if you're fatter and you want to lose that fat doing a recomp, what you want to do is do a 5 to 25% calorie deficit, because the calories that you're not consuming in food are going to be used up by your muscle fibers to create new tissue, and they're going to be pulled out, and that's going to help you lose that fat whilst getting bigger, stronger, leaner, and generally looking better than you have ever before. In terms of your nutrition, your protein intake is very important, and I would recommend you do 1.4 grams of protein per pound of lean mass. The way you want to figure that out is just figure out your total weight in pounds, and then you want to take away your body fat percentage. So if you were 200 pounds at 10% body fat, you'd need 180 pounds of lean mass times 1.4, 252 grams of daily protein intake. Protein is great for a recomp because it satisfies your hunger. It keeps you full for longer, so it means that you're not going to reach for those snacks that you might do usually. Just a side note here, it's normally the processed foods, the sugars, the chocolates, the alcohol, that's the stuff when you're on your bulk that makes you fat, because you suddenly think that just because you're on a bulk you can go all dirty with it, you can get a little bit crazy and you can start eating a lot of chocolate bars and you can eat crazy amounts of sugar. It makes you retain water and it makes you very puffy and bloated. So what you want to do is keep your diet clean, super clean. So just the protein, the carbs, the essential fats that you need to hit your calories. If you cut out everything else, the soft drinks, the sugars, all of that stuff, you will get shredded as fuck. It is crazy what happens when you cut sugar out of your diet, what happens to your skin, what happens to your muscles. You will just look so lean. If you're on a dirty bulk at the moment, the only thing you might need to do to continue gaining muscle but also losing fat is just cut out all the shit. If you do that, you might stay high calories but find yourself losing fat at the same time because you're not eating those terrible processed foods anymore. The next key to the recomp is tracking your strength. You need to be training properly. There's a lot of people that have been going to the gym for a long time, but they're not seeing any progress. And the reason normally is they're not using any progressive overload. They're not making their training sessions harder. They've fallen into this routine of going into the gym, picking up the same weights every week, and your muscle's bored. It already knows what's coming. You need to shock it. You need to give it new weights to lift, new exercises, new routines. You need to shake things up and you need to stick to it. Track your weights across given exercises over a matter of weeks and watch your strength increase. As it does, your body will create new muscle fibers and you will get bigger and stronger whilst also getting leaner at the same time if your calories are on point. If you're not using progressive overload, the recomp will either not work or the results will be totally unimpressive and you won't feel happy about it. So you need to put the work in and you need to push yourself to that limit. All right, here's a little bonus for you boys that I just wanted to add in. This is what I use to cut fat fast. If I need to look good in a matter of days, if I need to take some photos for Instagram, if I need to look lean and shredded, if I'm going to meet a girl and I want to look amazing, this is how I do it. So I'll do a few days where I wake up, I have 1 liter of water, 100 crunches, 100 press-ups, and no food at all until 1 p.m. I'll have 3 cups of black coffee as an appetite suppressant in that time, so whilst I'm doing my work, doing my thing, I'm not thinking about being hungry the whole time. And then maybe 1 p.m, 2 p.m, 3 p.m, at some point there, I'll break the fast. And I break it with fruit, and I break it with beef. So I have like a steak with mango. I'll have that together. It sounds like a crazy thing to do, but it's absolutely delicious and I find it makes me feel absolutely incredible. I don't have a big carb crash and it's a really nice way to break the fast. Then I'll probably have a bit of rice and maybe some more steak or some chicken, and I'll finish up the day with fish and a rice cake, as we all do. So boys, that's just a little bonus for you. If you do want to shred fat fast, that is the method that I've been using for years to just get the abs out, to get really lean and shredded fast. And obviously I've told you what I eat for the rest of the day, so you're not really starving yourself, you're just changing the times that you eat. For whatever reason this is, I find it really helps to cut body fat. So there you go boys, I hope you guys found this useful and you can use it to your own advantage, that you can do a recomp and you can stop going between being fat and then losing all your muscle and fat when you go on a cut, and you can instead just slowly maintain and increase your muscle mass whilst getting leaner year on year. I think it's a healthier way to do it and it's what I would recommend. It's what I've been following for years and I've always stayed in very good shape. If you want any more advice, just join the course below, go into the WhatsApp group. You can ask me any questions in there about how you should structure your recomp or your diet plan, and I'll give you help all in the WhatsApp group. So boys, it's been a pleasure. See you on the next one. Whoop-a, 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 whoop-a.